This is Rosen Institute's Your Law Firm, where we discuss law practice management, marketing, and new technologies to grow your law firm. Here's your host, Lee Rosen.
Short, simple, easy law firm marketing plan. Marketing is important. Having a plan is essential. Sticking to that plan is the difference between success and failure. But plans can get complicated. And for most of us, complexity is the enemy of execution. And complexity quickly becomes the cause of much of our procrastination. When things become challenging, when they're hard, when they're complicated, we put them on the back burner. Most of us would prefer to get things done. And so when there's easy, simple, low-hanging fruit in front of us, we will do it. So you need a short, simple, easy law firm marketing plan if you're finding yourself putting off execution on your marketing. Now, I have written, for those of you that want it, an extensive law firm marketing plan. You will find it at roseninstitute.com/marketing plan. It is not particularly complicated. I think it's fairly straightforward, but it stretches on for more than 6,000 words. It involves lots of steps for you to take each week, week by week, over the course of the year. And so for some, that plan will become easy to put off, to procrastinate, to avoid. And if you want to execute, if you want to make things happen, maybe what you need is a simple plan. So today, I have prepared for you a really easy, simple plan so that you don't get distracted by the big plan. You don't get into that procrastination mode. We really keep it simple. And if you will follow this simple plan, if you will execute on this plan, if you will do the things I suggest, then you're going to build your practice. Your practice will grow steadily. It will become more and more profitable. You will do very, very well following this plan. I promise you. And I have narrowed it down to a two-part plan. You don't have to remember a lot. You don't have to think a lot. You just have to do. So let me break it down for you. Two parts. Part one, we'll talk about that first. Give me a minute here and then we'll talk about part two. Part one is a daily call. Each day, you will call a lawyer about lunch or coffee or just to check in and chat. Lawyers are great referral sources for almost every practice area. So that's why I say call a lawyer. And in a perfect world, you'll do it early in the morning, get it done first thing. You might even do it before you get going for the day. Odds are if you call at 6:30 or 7 or 7:30 in the morning, you're going to get voicemail. The person will not be sitting there waiting to answer the phone. And what's great about that is when you leave your voicemail message, you've now put the ball in their court and they are likely to take action to return your call. Now, here's what you do when you call. You leave a very short, simple voicemail. I would say, I'm Lee Rosen. I'm a lawyer. Please return my call. I can be reached at 919-787-6667. That's 919-787-6667. That's it. That's what I'd say. When you do it, use your name and your phone number. That'll work much better for you. And that's the message. And the reality is I have deliberately not said much. I have not gone into some big pitch about how I want to take them to lunch, how I want to get to know them better, how I've heard such great things about them, because I really want them to return my call. And so, yes, maybe it's deceptive in some way that I'm not being incredibly clear, but I want to create a little mystery. I want them to wonder, am I suing one of their clients? Am I calling to refer some business? I want them to call me back. So I'm going with that short, simple message. And when we speak, I'm going to give them a very simple one paragraph, 3 or 4 sentence message. This is what I want to say. I want to say, hey, thanks for calling back. I'm Lee Rosen. I'm a lawyer. I'm working on building my practice, and I would really like to take you to lunch or coffee, or if that's too much trouble, I would love to just pop by your office to meet you. I'm totally flexible. I know you're busy, but I've really heard great things about you, and it would be awesome to spend a few minutes getting to know you. May I buy you lunch, please? Once I've said that, I am going to stop talking. There may be an awkward silence at that moment. I am just going to let it be awkward. I'm going to listen. I'm going to give them a chance to respond. I am not going to make it easy by filling the silence. I'm going to let the pressure build. What will happen most of the time is that the lawyer will accept the invitation. Now, it's not going to happen 100% of the time. Sometimes a lawyer is going to reject you. Some lawyers are going to be good at saying no and creating boundaries and protecting their time. But most lawyers are going to say, sure, let's have lunch, let's set something up. And then we get into that calendar discussion. So I am just going to let these lunches happen. And for the most part, they are going to happen. So what is going to happen to you if you will make these phone calls is that some folks will say yes, a few folks will say no, but before you know it, you're going to know more and more people. And marketing is about being known and liked and trusted. So you're going to be talking to these people, you're going to be getting to know them, you're going to be telling them your story and listening to their story and getting to build a relationship. And your practice is going to grow. You know, the world is made up of land and buildings and people. That's it. Those are the pieces that are on the game board. By making these phone calls, you're starting to move the pieces around. Something good will come of these phone calls. So that's part one of your marketing plan, a daily call to a lawyer. Number two, again, we're keeping this simple. 2 parts. We're on the second part. We're almost finished. The second thing is daily words. Write 1,000 words per day. What should you write about? Well, answer the question that you got yesterday from your client that was interesting. Again, do it first thing in the morning. Daily discipline is the key here, just like with the daily phone calls. The words that you write, those 1,000 words each day, they don't need to be great. They just need to be good enough. The key here is that you just need to do it. Now, you can do it quickly. You will be shocked once you build this habit of writing daily how quickly this will flow from you. It'll be awkward in the beginning, but a month from now, if you've written 1,000 words a day, it's just going to happen. In fact, it starts to get to a point where you feel like, well, I need to write my 1,000 words. You start to miss it if you have to put it off for one reason or another. So you need to sit down and write. Now, some folks will say, well, I'm not a writer. And I just have to say, that's baloney. We are all writers. We have been writing since before law school. We have all had to be writers. We've written in high school and college and law school. We are writers. It is a big part of what most of us do. Now, I know some lawyers will say, well, all I do is traffic tickets or whatever. I never write anything. You do. You have always been a writer. We write contracts and pleadings and briefs. We write emails all day long. We write text messages. We communicate in writing all day, every day. And luckily, the written word happens to be what prospective clients want to see when they go hunting for information about solving their legal problems. So you take that 1,000 words you write every day and you put it on your website. Instead of telling everybody how great you are, we're excellent, wonderful, lawyers, instead of doing that baloney, do this. Answer their questions. Tell them the solutions to their problems. Show them instead of telling them how excellent you are. You are demonstrating your expertise by explaining things, by talking about how you solved the problem that you faced. And most importantly, you're helping your reader see that you know what it's like to experience this problem. You know what it feels like, what it looks like, what it is like to go through this. If you will write every day, by the end of this year, only writing on work days, not even writing on weekends, you will have 200,000 words on your website. You will have the most informative, useful, interesting website of anybody in your practice area before you finish the first year of writing. It will happen if you will do this 1,000 words a day. And eventually, if you keep cranking it out, what is going to happen is that Google will find you, and Google will place you higher in the rankings because they will know, using their algorithm, that real people are finding your information useful. They're going to see that people are reading these pages and staying on them and going down from top to bottom. And so the more people that read those words that you have written, the more calls you will get to your office. The more calls means more clients. More clients means more money. This works. That is the marketing plan. Make those daily calls. Write those daily words. It will work. If you follow this simple plan, you will get more clients. Is that simple enough? Is that easy enough? Is that straightforward enough? Can you remember that? Make a call. Write the words. If you will do it, it will work. But it will only work if you do it. The question for you now is, will you follow this simple plan? And only you know the answer to that question. I hope that your answer is yes. Until next time, I'm Lee Rosen.
Thanks for listening to Your Law Firm. For more information on how you can take your law practice to the next level, visit roseninstitute.com. You can also subscribe on iTunes. Follow Lee Rosen on Twitter at Lee Rosen.